everybody, this is our read aloud video for Friday, since we're doing our asynchronous learning, and we're going to talk about rules. So you also will have a link for 10:30 today for Dr. Roselle's welcome assembly. So because we have 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders every year, they just give us a time slot. So this year, because we have more 3rd graders, we're going with the 3rd grade assembly. And so he's going to give you some information about our 3 rules at school, which is be safe, be respectful, and be responsible. So we're going to read David Goes to School, and we're going to see if David is being safe or respectful or responsible. Okay. David's teacher always said, "No, David, no yelling, no pushing, no running in the halls." Right, because those things are not safe. "David, you're tardy." Tardy is a fancy word for late, so David was late. It happens sometimes, but in order to be responsible, we want to try and be on time. "Sit down, David." Oh dear, and he's making faces. And that's not being respectful of his classmates who are trying to learn. Ooh. "Don't chew gum in class." Wow. Definitely no food in the classroom unless you're having a party. That's not being a responsible student. Uh-oh. Plus, gum can get stuck on the floor. "David, raise your hand." We just talked about this one. So raising your hand makes you responsible, right? Because you're doing what you know you're supposed to do, but it's also respectful of your classmates. Uh-oh. "Keep your hands to yourself." There we go, right? We don't want to touch people without asking, because that's not being safe, and it's not being respectful. Uh-oh, he's daydreaming. Pay attention. It can be hard to focus, but we should try, right? That makes us responsible if we try and pay attention. "Wait your turn, David." Uh-oh. One of those things we do when we wait in line is we wait our turn, because that's being responsible. Oh dear, I don't care who started it. So if you make a mess, even if it's by mistake, you clean it up, and that's being a responsible student. "David, recess is over." Looks like David needs to respect the playground rules. David needs to respect his classmates so that they can get their work done, right, during the school day. We don't want to be so noisy that we keep people from learning. Uh-oh. Again. Well, I assume if you need to go to the bathroom, you know. "That's it, mister. You're staying after school." Oh dear, look, he's drawing on the desk. Well, he'll definitely need to clean that up, right? And that's not being respectful of school property. "David, have you finished?" Look, all the desk looks wonderful. That was not an easy day for David. "Good job, David." Oh, that's nice of her to say. He might have been feeling a little down after that day. "Yes, David, you can go home now." There we go, skipping off home. So we saw a lot of things that David did that you're not supposed to do, but we know there are things you are supposed to do, things that you can do if you're being safe. So we need this part of the David packet, right? And we're just going to do the writing activity together, and then I'll let you do the coloring and the cutting. So we need this that says, "Yes, David, you can," and we're going to talk about some things we can do at school. So you can pause the video and then come back when you have your paper and your pencil. Mrs. Seeger is going to use her pen just so you can see it. So some things you can do in school are, let's talk about safety. Keeping your hands to yourself, right? Not running, not pushing, following the playground rules so that nobody gets hurt. So those are some safe things you can do at school. And some responsible things you can do are stay in your seat, listen to the teacher, try your best, and make sure you get your work done. And that looks different for everybody, but at least we should try. And then there's being respectful. So use nice words with your friends, right? Keep your hands to yourself. That's also safety, right? But we respect other people and their bodies when we don't touch without asking. So we want to ask before we touch. And another way you can be respectful is by following the school rules, right? And being safe with school materials. These are tools, right? We don't want to use them as toys or anything else. So I'm going to pick one, and I'm going to write it down on my Yes, David, and I'm going to move the computer again so you can see. So this is the sheet where it says, yes, David, you can, and I'm going to tell him something he can do. Yes, David, you can listen to the teacher. So that's what I'm going to tell David he can do. All right, so you're going to finish that sentence using a different rule, and I'm going to show you what to do with it next. So what you're going to do is you're going to color the David pieces, and you can cut them, or your grown-up can cut them out, and we're going to make a David that looks like this, right? So we've got his head, his nose, his mouth, which is wide open with some teeth, right? His blue and white shirt, and his red pants, and his black shoes. So what you're going to do after you glue them on is you're going to cut out your Yes, David, and usually we just glue it to the bottom. Okay? So what I'd like your parent to do is when you're finished with this, if your parent could take a picture of this part that you did and just email it to me, and I'll put them up in the classroom. And then you can keep your David at home to help remind you what you need to be doing. And so we have the orange and green paper to glue your David on, right? All right. So I will see you Monday. Have a good weekend. Bye.